Hey, what's up? Y'all know who it is, man. It's the Dolphins D. We already in here. Ready to turn up this year. We gon' get it.
To Hard Rock Stadium.
We gon' defend. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad. We gon' defend. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad. We got the whole squad with me now. Train to go. Come play games if you want to. Try to crash eyes. You done took the wrong route. We gon' crash you like a stunt dude. Check y'all like 1, 2. Tap your head like your uncle. You wanna ride, stay buckle. It get loud down here, get wild down here. Turn the field to a jungle. Never disrespect the squad. It's defended by a line and some beasts on the feast on the opposition. Another line in the back, singing to the ER just in case you got through the first line with tripping. But if for some reason it get crazy, I got watchers on the corner for my safety. Everybody here well coached. Change the weather under pressure, stay cool like an AC. Woo! But we still make heat. Woo! Was you trying to play me? We be 3 plus 8 deep, but I'm a fool so low. Can't never do great beat. Be great, only way to do great things. Hit hard, only way to make a statement. Come up in our territory, make a payment. Or be in debt with your neck. Gotta we gon' defend. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad.
Yeah. I hit them boys. We throw them toys. That's saying that QB. We them boys. We the realest. We go gorillas. We out here, homie. You gon' feel us. Don't make me come down. Be in that box. Like I'm red. I'll knock your socks. We don't play y'all boys. Cause we some bullies. We'll take your cookies. Cause y'all some rookies. I'm in the building. Me and Shot Jones. We do lane. We don't play zone. We play that man. So guard your hands. I see your eyes. You're scared,
we
man.
We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad.
Yeah. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Stephen D, and I'm doing the thing right here on Miami Sports Music Podcast Network live. What is up, baby? Look, I was working all day today, and the kids went to the pool with my wife, and I figured I'd come out and hang out with you for, 30 minutes, an hour, see what's going on. Look, I just want to hang out. How's everybody doing? I know you guys want to talk some Dolphin football, some Dolphin chat. So let's get going, man. Let's make that happen. While we're up here, I do want to remind everybody, hit that like button. If you haven't hit it already, hit it now. And I also want to remember, too, we're going to do the same thing just like we do in the morning show, guys and ladies. Any donation that you guys do, 50% of all donations this week are going to go towards the Surfside displaced family community. So the families that were displaced during the Surfside building collapse, if you donate here, 50% of that is going to go towards them. So let's donate, guys. Let's get that up. Let's have some fun. Let's talk some Dolphin chat. Use the hashtag Dolphin chat. I always have clock blockers up there because it is the #1 Miami fan morning show, but you guys can also use DWA too. There's DWA right there. Look, I put in for the chat box the link to get up here. I want to talk to you guys. This is about you guys. So come on into the chat box. come on into the video link. Let's have some fun. Let's talk some football. Let's talk some Dolphins. Look, this is pretty much a Q&A, so I want to take your questions. So you tell me what you guys want to talk about, and I will make that happen. So I'm ready, you guys. Let's bring on the questions. Get into the video link. Again, I'm going to put the video link one more time into the chat box for you all to get on, and let's have a good time, guys. Let's enjoy. Let's enjoy some Dolphin Chat right here live on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Super excited. I'm going to wait for your questions, man, because I want you guys to take control of this. This is your show. This is specifically for you. I will answer and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about from a Dolphin Chat standpoint. So I will wait for your stuff. We already got 12 likes. Awesome. Off to a good start. Let's go. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Got a few people watching on Facebook, few people watching on YouTube. What's up, Rob? What's going on? Yo, Grand Attack in the building. What's going on? I'm waiting for your questions, guys. Put the questions in the box. And look who it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'll bring my man in. What's up, big guy?
What's up? What's up?
Got Eric Carrier in the building. Dolphin fans of Southern New England. BB. What's going on, man?
Nada, heading to a little softball game.
Look at you all ready to go. You got your war paint on and everything.
Of course, it's sunny. It is 97 degrees outside with a feel of 105.
Oh, New England's hot right now.
So it seemed like a good time for me and my little buddy, since mom's working, to go hit some dingus.
To go have a good time, right?
Yeah, boys' night.
All right, so what do you want to talk about, man? Do you have anything you want to hit with the Dolphins take? Any hot takes for you?
I'm just ready to get going, man. What are we at? 29 days or something like that till training camp. I don't even know the official count.
It's under a month at this point. I know it's under a month before we get going in training camp. So I'm super stoked about that.
I got a couple countdowns I got going on. Head down to South Florida, the beginning of August, to go on a cruise. So I get that countdown going on. I get the two of them mixed up. So
you got a lot of things going on. I want to remind everybody in the StreamYard chat, come on in. We'll talk. Estefan writes, are you ready for life without Xavier and Howard this season?
I am not. I saw a comment that said X was going to honor his contract. What was that about? I saw it when I clicked the YouTube. Someone said,
I'm not sure. I know Reason from Finside the NFL said he's got some news this evening that he's going to drop. So I'm not sure exactly if that's about that or not. But I mean, let me look. I don't think there's anything on Twitter that says it.
No, I looked before I came on, just so I could try to, And I get it. I understand where X is coming from. He wants to be, at a minimum, the highest paid on the team, which is understandable, But we're setting a bad precedence if we let these guys after a year and a half, all of a sudden I want a new contract. Well, you still got 4 years to go, but
look, what he's done has never been done in the scheme of things by a player. It's never happened.
Exactly. And like I said, I get it. I completely understand why he's asking for it, as well as, he should. He's the best cornerback in the league last year, especially in our eyes. Maybe not some of these idiot PFF writers that didn't even have him in the top 50 this year.
I know we were talking about that this morning on the morning show, that he wasn't even in the top 50. Wade was bringing that up.
Yeah, so I tried to keep up with the morning show, but then I started going. I got distracted by a delusional Pats fan, so.
Hopefully, if he gets on, you can talk some crap in here. Guys, get onto the stream with me. I want to invite more people to get on. Let's have a good talk. I want to hear some arguments. I want to hear your hot takes on what's going on with the team, what your thoughts are on Xavier and Howard. Hawful says, how many wins do we need to be happy? Are you happy with only 9 wins this year? Negative. We have to win over 10 games or more in order for me to be happy. But I truly think we're a 13-win team.
Listen, we should have been an 11, borderline 12-win team last year. We let a couple go. We should have never lost to the Pats at the beginning of the year. Who else did we lose to? We shouldn't have lost to. Denver should have never lost to Denver.
We should never. That was such a trap game.
We should have lost to the Bills. Exactly, Jackson. Like Jackson said, we should have never lost to the Bills.
You tell him, Jackson. That's what I'm talking about, my guy. He said we never should have lost to the Bills. I love it. Jackson's hot take on the team. Hit that like button, guys, when you guys are coming into the room. And, guys, I want to see you guys get in here. This is your show. Come on to the stream. Let's talk. Let's do it, man. Mary Welsh said, no, definitely need more wins than 9 games. Talk AFC Dolphins says, my take is Tua establishes himself as a top 10 quarterback and leads the Dolphins to a number 2 seed at 14-3 behind the Colts. Do you agree?
Behind the Colts.
Wow, that I wouldn't have said the Colts.
I wouldn't have said the Colts. I'm all for 14-3 and a 2 seed, but where's Kansas City?
Well, he's thinking Carson Wentz is going to have a reemergence up in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's bring on Ghost of Chan Gailey. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Steven? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
Show.
Hey, man. Appreciate
I'm good,
you
man.
coming
I can't
on.
complain, bro.
Sounds like a Boston guy. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, right?
What's up, man?
I'm
Talk
not a
to
Patriot fan.
Hey, that's right. As long as you're not a Patriots fan, you're welcome. Jackson, sit your butt down.
No, we're not driving anymore. We're in the parking lot.
You're in the parking lot. Okay. All right. See, I was making sure you were being a good dad.
No,
all right, hey, Ghost of Chan Gailey, man. The floor is yours. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. What are you guys in the mood of talking about?
Well, I know. Look, everybody. What's your thoughts on Xavier Howard? Are you upset? Are you? What's your take on Howard?
Look, I'm gonna say Xavier Howard has all the right in the world to be upset with his current situation. I mean, he did outplay his contract that he has right now.
Be right back.
He did put up an All-Pro year. He put up 10 interceptions. That's like what one of the best. That's probably the best stat that a cornerback has had in a decade. He allowed a 45.5 passer rating. He allowed the second lowest completion percentage amongst cornerbacks, second highest in the league. So I can understand, that he's upset with his contractual situation. He's the second highest paid corner on his team, and he's the best corner. He's the second highest paid. So I can understand why he's upset. So. But,
I would agree with you there. I would 100% agree with you. I said from day one that I get where he's coming from. I think the issue that fans are having, and there's many of them, but I think the number one thing fans are having or they're taking grief with is, hey man, you signed your contract. We gave you agreed to it. Now you need to play according to what you agreed to when you restructured it. Now the issue is, he's been playing like the number one at his position in the entire league, and he wants to be paid like that. Now I'm going to bring up a point that TD brought up in his live stream. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but he's like, we're talking about a guy who plays 60% of the time because of health, and he's still the number one player in the league at his position. So take that for what it's worth. Are you going to pay a guy who's going to pay 60% of the time? Are you going to play a guy that's putting up numbers that when he does play, he's a monster? And that's kind of where people are at with it.
Yeah, right. I mean, I could understand from the team's point of view because remember, they didn't give him as much guaranteed money as they could have because of his situation with his health. Remember, I think it was in 2018 he ended up in the IR in week 12 of in 2018 when he had the 7 interceptions in 12 games. And and of course he had that knee injury that pretty much derailed the season. He only played like 5 games, and I can understand that the team is trying to protect itself in a way because hey, look, listen, you're already coming off 2 major knee injuries, and you have the domestic issues that the Dolphins had to deal with. Hey, look, we put up we put up with your domestic abuse allegations. We dealt with your stuff in the summer, about your agent when you lent your agent's house to your friends, and the drive-by incident happened. So I can understand where the Dolphins are coming from in terms of we gave you this contract, and look at all the trouble that we had, that you put us through. And this is a unique situation, like Brian Flores said. This is a unique situation because I've never heard of a player complain about a contract that he just received. And I understand that every year, the market is reset, and you're only going to be the highest paid player at a position for a temporary time, and then the next season
He was the highest paid position at his position for 30 seconds. And then,
for 30 seconds. Yeah, and
know,
it happens as a natural part of every year. So for the Dolphins, I can understand. It's like wait a minute, hold on. We gave you a big contract. We gave you a big contract. Even though if you're the second highest paid on the team, we gave you a big contract, and you're receiving all this guaranteed money, and it's weird for you to complain about it. Now I can understand, like, from the side of Xavier, and he understands this, that the team, you got to understand, you're coming off a devastating knee injury, and we brought in Byron Jones to provide us for insurance in case your knee doesn't hold up in the future. So in a way, X can understand why Byron Jones was brought in, but he complained when the Dolphins drafted Noah Benogany at 30th overall, basically as a sign to replace him in the future, and he kind of felt that. He kind of felt upset at that, but he has to understand a team is just preparing itself for in the future
They're
for
just
anything that happens.
That's right. They're just getting ready. I want to bring you into this, Eric. So, Ghost of Chan Gailey brought up a really good point in saying, well, I don't know if it's a good point, but it's a point that I have not heard on anybody's platform yet. And that is the off-season allegations, the off-season, off-the-field issues. Is that playing a part into Greer making a decision, or Flores, as a team making a decision on to give this guy the money or not? My personal opinion of it is it doesn't play an opinion yet because he hasn't been charged with anything officially.
That's true.
And so that's what I think. Eric, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think Flores is that type of coach that's going to hold that part of a. The guy's a cat calling me from outside the vehicle. I don't think Flo's that type of coach that he's going to hold allegations, against somebody's pockets. I could see a situation like a Devontae situation where we weren't really sure what we were going to do with them. It was, listen, show up, perform, show us you stay healthy this year, then we'll give you a new contract. I could see, look, we know you can play. Give us one more good year, and we'll make you the highest paid cornerback in the league. I could see a situation like that arising.
Do you think he'll take that?
I mean,
and that's the problem. That's where his ego needs to come into check. You know what I mean? If I'm Miami, I am not letting him stronghold this situation because it's just going to set a bad precedent. Every time a player outdoes the previous season, they're going to demand a new contract.
I think the entire NFL is looking at this as to what's going to happen.
Exactly.
And
it's just
not just.
I think in the NFL in the future they have to make contracts. The teams and a player's ability to adjust and restructure contracts
Should be after a certain
in a
time.
way that in a way that can allow them to move around, and I think they have that in place already, but
I like your point there. Something to the effect of in the contract it states that if I play within the top 3 of my position in the entire NFL, that I'm allowed to ask for a restructure of X amount,
right,
after my first year. I can see that happening.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
100%. So, Ghost of Changeli, how many wins do you think we get this year?
All of them.
It depends. It depends, man. Because with X, I think our floor. I think we can win 12 games. If you ask me, I think we can be 12-5. Without X, man, I'll be calling a stretch if we win 10 games. Because
wow, you think X? You think X has a WAR, wins above replacement, as they say in baseball, of 2 games?
Yeah, I think so, because last year, remember, a lot of games. There's been quite a handful of games that we won because X, changed the course of the game, because he managed to get turnovers at key moments, like the Chargers game. I don't think we would win that Chargers game if he doesn't have that interception. If he doesn't pick off Justin Herbert, because it gave the Dolphins a short field to work with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was one of the turnovers that Tua converted into a touchdown. So,
guys, I want to remind everybody to hit that like button when you come in. I also put in the chat the link to get up here and chat with us. There's a lot of you in here into the chat. Come on in. I want to talk to you guys. I want to hear your thoughts. How many wins you guys think? What's your take on Xavier and Howard in that entire situation? And your thoughts on what's been said so far by the guys that are in the chat room so far. So feel free to come on in. You're out?
I gotta go.
Hey, go win. Go hit a homer for me today. Can you go do that?
I don't hit homers. I hit backside, and I let the big guys buy me hit homers.
All right, brother. Be good. Have a good game. I hope you win.
I let it.
All right. That was Eric, Vice President of the Dolphin Fans of Southern New England Fan Club. Ghost of Changeli, where are you at, man? What part of the country are you in?
I live in Miami.
You live in Miami. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you've been to plenty of
Miami,
games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I literally grew up in Joe Robbie, or what they used to call Joe, Hard Rock. So
yeah,
man, yeah.
You grew up in the Marino era.
Yeah, definitely. Like the late stretch of the Marino era. Yeah.
So you're like me. I'm assuming you're in your early 30s or mid 30s.
I'm 29 going on 30.
Okay. All right. So you're in the same boat as me. All right.
Yeah.
You remember a little bit of the Marino days at the end, but what you remember is you remember a lot of losing. You don't remember a lot of winning. You remember mediocrity.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, you're the same way as me. And so, I say that to bring up a point, because I think a lot of people that we see on a day in, day out basis in the chat room, they're jaded. They have PTSD from so many different things, so many different coaches, so many different quarterbacks. So they don't remember the winning. People need to remember we're the 6th winningest franchise in NFL history.
Yep.
Now, we haven't done anything in the last 20 years, but that's real. And so, it's kind of tough, to see something like that and be like, holy cow, this is the 6th winningest team in NFL history, but a lot of those wins came in the 70s, 80s, and early to mid 90s. So I want to see this team be good again. And so for me, I don't know what we need to do it. I think we're doing it. I really do. And I think that's why you see a lot of the divided fan base that you see nowadays, as you see a lot of the fan base in here like, all right, this is what's going on. I hate Tua or I love Tua. I hate Tannehill or I love Tannehill. I hate Flores or I love. There's no in between. And we also live in an.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I said we also live in an NFL right now where a head coach gets 1 or 2 years. He doesn't get the 4 or 5 years that coaches used to get in order to get a franchise turned around. So, like, I think the article on CBS Radio that Flores is on the hot seat is first of all, it's blasphemous. There's no way in hell that man is on the hot seat. But that's why you see articles like that. That's why you see people in Cleveland, the head coaches there getting 1 year. And then if you don't do it, like, what do you expect a coach to do in 1 year? What do you expect a player to do in 1 year?
Right. And the thing is, look, listen, this is a failing formula. I know the NFL has turned into a what have you done for me lately league. And I think that's going to be the death of the NFL. And I'm not saying that it's okay, for an NFL franchise in particular, you cannot give a head coach a window of up to 1 or 2 years. It takes a while to build a foundational identity, to build a locker room culture, find the right players that fit, not just fit your scheme, but fit your identity of what you want to do on offense and in defense. That takes a while. And then the individual players, based on the coaching staff, it takes it takes about 2 to 3 years to develop them, right? Because remember, in the NFL and football, these I think these positions to play at a professional level, it's really hard to understand the nuances of the game. I mean, for any rookie, you're making a huge jump from college to the NFL, where the playbook is double. There's a lot more terminology that you have to remember, a lot more plays. There's defenses that you have to read that are more complex. There's coaches that let's say, for example, if you're a quarterback, you have to understand how defensive coaches disguise their blitzes, disguise their coverages, et cetera, et cetera. My point is that takes time. That takes time. And you've seen the more successful franchises like the 49ers in the 80s. You've seen that with the Patriots. What has made them so successful despite the winning is continuity. And if Miami can build a system of continuity where there's no rapid changes, there's no turnover in the coaching staff, in the quarterback position, if we can finally get that right, which has been lacking with this franchise for the past 20 years, if we can get that right, we can start turning over a new leaf. And of course, once we get that continuity down, we have to start winning and become more consistent. And I think with the winning and the consistent, all these stories about, Flores being on the hot seat, there's disconnect between the ownership and the coaches and the GM. All this can go away. The questions about Tua all can go away if they do their job. The coaches do their job. Hey, coach these players to the best of their ability, right? To maximize their potential, and that's going to translate into winning on the field. You put a winning product, a team that can consistently make the playoffs, and you're gonna get the result that you want. So we can finally solve the big problem in this franchise of getting out of this hole of mediocrity and finally getting back on the road to prominence. So all this
from your mouth to God's ears.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. So I think this whole rush. Oh, you have to rush. Oh, these coaches have to be great on year one. They have to make the playoffs in year one, year two. No, man, it's a process. This is a project, and you have to have continuity, and you have to have people who are on the same page, and that goes from the ownership all the way down to the equipment manager. And if you don't have people on the same page and you have that conflict, teams are not going anywhere, bro.
No,
and you're just gonna end up with a mess, bro. So.
And we know all about that too. I've been telling people for years. Real quick before I get into that comment, guys, this is DolFAN Chat with Stephen D. I want you guys to come on. I want more of you to come into the conversation. This is a show that's for you, gives you the platform to talk. So I want to hear from you, the fans. So in the chat, you will see I put up the link to get on and come on to the stream with me. I would love for you all to come on. Let's talk some Dolphin football. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys have to think about of the Xavier Howard situation, of how many wins the Dolphins are going to get this year, the mediocrity of this team that it's been for the last 20 years. My thought of what I was going to say, Ghost, was that if you look at the last 20 years of being a fan, it's funny because if you live outside of the Miami area, which I do, okay, we have to fight and defend being a Dolphins fan for many, many different reasons, right? Like our GOAT, Marino, never won a Super Bowl.
Right.
So we can't hang our hat on that, right? We haven't won a playoff game in 20 years. And so it's tough because, you know, all we want to do, we love this team. I love this team. I love them with a passion. I have them tattooed on me for a reason. I do the morning show for a reason. I have this setup for a reason. All I want to do is see a little bit of love back in return. And part of that love is I want to see a playoff win. God, dang, I would love to see a playoff.
We start with that first, right?
I know. I just want to see a playoff win. Give me a playoff win. Let me feel something. You know, when the Dolphins went to the playoffs, 2 or 3 years ago in Pittsburgh, I was there. Me, Solo, really? Ali's wife, Ali's son, Taco, like we all drove up to Pittsburgh. And we were in negative 11-degree weather.
Actually, wow, that is cold.
Freezing.
Bro.
I have never been in anywhere that cold. It was cold as you know what. It was. I had never been somewhere that cold. It was negative 11 degrees at kickoff with the chill, and we were like 11 rows up from the end zone, and we just took a stomping. But I will tell you, the drive there to Pittsburgh was fun, man, because the optimism of, hey, we're in the playoffs. Holy cow, this is more than a regular game. This is a playoff game. I want to see us in the playoffs. I want to see us win a playoff game. I think this team last year could have won a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I mean, good.
I think so. I mean, I think if this team, if the Dolphins take care of their business, especially on the business side or off the field, if they can put all the talent that they amassed together through the draft and free agency, and especially with the depth that they added at every position, if they could put it together, man, they could be a playoff contender, a perennial playoff contender. You know what I'm saying? And it all starts with the quarterback and the coaching. You know, Tua has to do his thing. The offensive line has to come together. They have to be consistent and do their jobs, and that's keep the pocket clean and give Tua time to throw, so Tua can survey the field, go through his reads, and then make the right play based on his decision making. So, and if Tua balls out, man, we're gonna be all right, man. We're gonna be in a position where we can make the playoffs and get to where we ultimately want to get to. So that's key.
That's what I want to see, man. I want to see the Dolphins show consistency, right? And the word consistency is something that has not been synonymous with this team for many, many years. It's been a lot of it's been a wave, right? It's been a roller coaster, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, no flat line, and
a lot of stopgap.
Exactly, man. We've had different head coach. We go through. The quarterback list: Cleo Lemon, Tyler Thigpen, Pat White, Brock Heward, Jay Fielder, Gus Farrat. Come on, man. Like, I mean, just a plethora of mediocre quarterbacks. Chad Henne. I remember when Chad Henne was here, bro. And I have to admit, I was like, all right, man, this is the guy. He's gonna do it for us. And I didn't know from Adam and Eve. I was just happy that the Dolphins got somebody that, hey, this could be the guy. Right.
Right. And I remember the excitement when we traded Brandon Marshall, when we traded for Brandon Marshall,
I was excited as all hell. I was like, holy cow, man. We got a real number one here.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Bro, you know how many times we've won the Super Bowl in the offseason in the last 5 to 7 years? A lot. A lot. We've always been we made the big signing. It's real easy to get people to come to South Florida. It's a lot hell of a harder to keep them staying here in South Florida because once they're here, the culture has just been garbage. You know, the locker room, the head coaches, whoever it is, the quarterback, whatever. You know, Brandon Marshall will be the first to tell you, you know, hey man, the worst time. Now he had a lot of other mental issues too, and he'll be the first to tell you that.
Yeah.
Right. But he'll also say that the worst time of his career was in Miami. And I'm sure that if you ask Mike Wallace or some of these other big name receivers, they'll tell you the same thing. And I know it wasn't all laughs and pigtails and balloons and birthday cakes for Jarvis his last year here. He wasn't happy.
No, he wasn't. And he wanted to stay here too.
He did, but he didn't want Adam Gase.
Nope. He didn't want no part of that. Nope. You're right about that.
And so, you know, for me, it's looking at where the Dolphins are and being like, okay, we have a head coach that when I saw him last year, when I saw Flo go out and fight the Cincinnati Bengals last year, bruh, I was like, let's go. Let's go. I mean, it was awesome to see him stick up for his players, because the only time I ever can remember that was Sperano. Sperano stuck up for his players, but Sperano was Sperano, right? Like, rest in peace. I love the man, but the man thought, I mean, he celebrated like it was a touchdown every time we kicked
the field goals, right?
Like, are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Like, it drove me bananas, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, I look at that and I'm like, okay, so how are we going to get to be able to bring in something? So I think Tua is that guy, right? And then I look at Greer and I put him up against, you know, Mike Tannenbaum and, you know, some of the other, you know, Jeff Fireland, whatever you want to call him, right?
Yep.
I think Greer has something that these other guys that never had. And to me, I'm going to call a spade a spade. I think Greer's got balls. Greer's not afraid to turn that pick. The man turned Laramie Tunsil into 4 first-round picks, bro. 4. It's
the gift that keeps on giving you, because you can still package those first-round picks and still move them around. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Hey guys, this is Dolphin Chat live with Stephen D. Look, I want more of you to come on. Come on. I'm telling you, this is your show. This is your platform. Get on. Come on. I want to hear from you guys. I see you guys talking in the chat room. I want you guys to talk up here, man. Get on. Let's have a good time. I'm just doing a little bit of give back for you guys. If you guys want to donate to the channel, 50% of all donations this week are going to the Surfside community, the displaced families of the Surfside building collapse. Yeah, man. How far are you away from Surfside?
I actually live, because I live in North Miami-Dade County, so it's about like, I would say like 20 minutes from here, because it's on Miami Beach, so I live in the inland. So
you drove by that building, I'm assuming?
Many times, yeah. I drove by it. Have
you driven by it since the collapse?
No, I haven't been there since the collapse. So,
dude,
but I heard it was pretty bad.
I mean, it's unreal. Looking at the pictures is unreal. That something like that happened, and I don't want to get into conspiracy theories of what people think or not think, but I mean, just it's a sad situation, man. Like you see pictures of you know, I have a 5-year-old and 7-year-old. And there were kids that were, you know, there were bunk beds there. There's over 100 people missing. It's it's one of the saddest things in the world. So look, if you guys donate to the channel this week at all, 50% of all donations, we're going to turn around. We're going to have Solo go out and interact with some of the displaced families over at Surfside. So guys, please donate to the channel. It's going to go to a great cause this week. So I'm pretty excited about that. EM, I see you in the chat, bro. Get up here, man. EM, you better get up here. I'm not playing with you. I want to talk to you anyways.
No Spurs fans here allowed.
Say what?
No Spurs fans here allowed.
These
I'm only joking,
guys
you know.
so much hate. I love it. I love it. Yeah, man. I want to see you guys in the chat room. Come on in. Come on. Talk to me. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys think about what's going on with the team right now. What are your thoughts on Xavier Howard? What do you think we should do? If you were the GM, what would you do? Ask away. Rob G with the $10 donation. Shout out to you, Rob. And like I said, 50% of all donations is going to go to the displaced families of Surfside building collapse.
That's
So shout out to you, Rob. Way to go, man. Hey, M, I'm not playing with you. EM, get up here. Let's go. Let's see. What are y'all talking about in the chat? Right? Talk AFC Dolphins. Right now, I'll take Allen over Tua, but Tua is third year and beyond. Tua over Allen. Okay, so I see you guys are getting into the Tua here. EM said, "Give me a minute, homie. Just getting home." Nah, dog. You put stuff down.
He's
Let's go.
warming
Get
up.
on here.
He's warming up.
He's like, hold on. I gotta get my voice ready. I gotta get my voice
Yeah,
ready.
right.
Let's see here.
Don't fight with the chat, EM.
2 first-round picks starting price for X, but I'd rather keep them. Word of mouth. If somebody offers us 2 first-round picks, bruh, I'm taking that in a minute. But I don't see anybody giving us 2 first-round picks for them.
Nope.
I don't think that's going to happen. I could see us getting a first-rounder, but I don't see us getting 2 first-rounders. There's no way that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I would be interested. What do you guys think the Dolphins can get for him? Hey, Estefan, what's up, my guy? Go Spurs, go. Stop your foolishness. You guys are too much.
That's you, Estefan.
Goat Villa says, where's Goat Villa at? First and a fourth for X. See, that sounds more logical. That sounds more logical. A first and fourth round pick for X. X and Tua for Rodgers. Bruh, Rodgers is not going to get – if Rodgers gets traded here, which is not going to happen, by the way, but if he did, it wouldn't be for Tua. They got Jordan Love. It would have to be for draft. It would have to be, draft picks included with X, and it would have to be a big-ass package. It would be.
Yep.
You'd have to give up a few people plus draft picks for Rodgers.
Yeah, so, that's way too much for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I could see it. He had 10 picks. Hey, bro, I would love to see 2 first-round picks. But logically, I don't see any player getting 2. Like, what did we get for Minka? Did we get a first for Minka?
Yeah, we got it. I think it was because I think the pick that we got for Noah Benogamy, that came from the Steelers. So it was a 26 overall pick, and it turned into a 30 because the Dolphins traded down.
So
yeah.
All right. So word of mouth. By that logic, maybe, because I think he's a hell of a lot better than Minka is. And by the way, Minka's no pushover. I do like Minka. But could you imagine if we still had Minka in this defense, bro?
Oh, yeah. It would be lethal, bro. What is he, a 2-time All-Pro already? And he's been 2 years with the Steelers. Oh, man.
Bro, if we had him in this defense, we wouldn't even be talking about X-Men right now. It wouldn't even be a story at all. Jordan Love is not better than Tua. Would concur with that statement there, sir. 100%. Guys, get into the chat here. What's up? You guys are scared? You guys don't want to come on and voice your opinion? I think that's what it is. I got too many people in here. They don't want to come on, man. That's what it is. They don't want no smoke. They don't want the smoke from everybody. Should Miami get Richard Sherman?
Nah, Sherman,
not right now.
Richard Sherman doesn't fit what Miami does on defense. They're more of a zone. He's more of a zone scheme corner. Miami does a more man-to-man defense, especially with those 6 DB packages. So, no, I don't think that's a good fit for Miami.
Look, I'll say this. I was very surprised when the Dolphins got Jason McCourty. I was very surprised that we got him. And, looking at Jason McCourty, I think he's here not because of what he can produce on the field still. I think he's here because of what he can teach some of these younger guys. And I think if you got a Richard Sherman who's willing to play ball and be a leader, I wouldn't mind Richard Sherman on the team. Again, I'm all about depth. You give me depth, I'll take you on.
Solid player too.
Yeah, and so I think he'd be a great mentor to these younger guys.
Agreed.
Again, I don't think – here's a couple of things that you're going to see, all right? Number one, by the way, hit that like button, guys. We got 43 people watching. We only got 25 likes. Let's go. Hit that like button. I think a couple of things you're going to see. You got to remember a few things this year, right? Number one, there's only 3 preseason games, right? So a majority of what you're going to see this preseason is you're not going to see as many people as you would in preseason games because they're not going to have time to play them. You still got to have the starters play their time. We're also not going to see as many cuts, though, at the beginning of the preseason. A lot of these guys are going to play up until the end of the preseason. They're keeping the rosters at like 90 for, I want to say, like into week 2, if I'm correct. So
I would agree with that. Yeah.
So if you're looking at that, you're like, okay, so a lot of these guys have to play. We now have 2 Atlanta and Chicago inter squad practices, right? So that's a big deal. And I think there could be a third. There's a rumor that the Cincinnati Bengals could be the third team. So you could have 3 preseason games and 3 inter squad. Yo, I'm telling you right now, there'll be more than enough time for these guys to get looks by the coaching staff.
Agreed.
So
I think, yeah.
So if you're looking at all that, what I want to say is I don't think you're going to see these veterans that haven't been signed yet get signed till week 3 of the preseason. And the reason that I think that is I think teams are satisfied. The reason that you didn't see any June 1st cuts, post June 1st cuts, is because I think teams are like, all right, we're going to see what you got. We're going to play you. And if you don't cut the mustard, we're going to see who gets cut from other teams. Because you got to remember, come week 2 or 3 of preseason, there's going to be a buttload of cuts in the NFL. And all these teams are going to be looking at these, okay, who can I get to make my team better? Because there's going to be somebody who gets cut that just was a cap casualty or, it's not worth keeping them because of the talent level of a younger guy. Whatever the case may be, there's going to be quality talent that gets cut. And so that's going to be it's going to be a big deal. So I would like to see Le'Veon Bell sign with us. I know that's not a popular thing, but I would like to see it. But I don't think we're going to see it till the preseason if it happens at all. Right. So saying a guy like Richard Sherman, Richard's not going to get a look till the middle or end of preseason with anyone. And there's going to be a lot of veterans that won't.
I got to agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. I think the teams, they're going to take advantage of the joint practices, like you said, and see what they have and do their evaluations. And then if they see something, like you said, maybe something financially doesn't make sense, or maybe they have enough depth at a roster and they have too many guys at the same position, or let's say, for example, injuries, right? Injuries happen all the time in preseason and in the training camp. So, yeah, I mean, definitely, Richard Sherman will definitely be a consideration.
What did Bones say? We don't need Hoochie Mama attitudes on the team. You're killing me, Bones. You're killing me. Let's see here. I would have rather spent the money on Morgan. The Jets just signed. AB, you've been screaming that for 2 days now. Yeah, I
think Morgan would have been nice. Yeah, I think Morgan would have been nice. Yeah.
Hey, Estefan, what is up, bud? Estefan, I put you on. Take yourself off mute. What's up? All right, Estefan, I'm going to leave you on until you take yourself off. All right, he's having trouble getting on. We're going to bring him back in. If you guys want to come on to the stream, I'm going to go ahead and put the stream link into the chat box. I want you all to come on. This is a show for you. I'm only going to stay on for another, 15, 20 minutes until my wife comes back with the kids from the pool. We got 40 people watching right now. We got 29 likes. Hit that like button. If you guys donate to the channel, 50% of all donations are going to the Surfside community as far as the displaced families are concerned. So I want to see you guys donate, help this channel grow. Let's do it. And let's come together as a family and help each other. And that's what we're going to do. All right, guys, come on to the chat. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to know what your questions are. Let's see here. Woback says Tua will be fine. It's the O-line they need to worry about. Still need a solid center. I 100% agree with you, Woback. I would 100% say that center is our weakest position right now. And so we need everything that we can do to bump that up. Hey, Estefan, you on?
I think he's having mic issues.
I think he is having mic issues. Maybe he's just playing. Maybe he doesn't want the smoke. That's what it is. He knows EM's about to get on. He don't want none of it. Hey, Estefan, if you can fix your mic, man, I want you on, bud. All right, let's see here. I've watched plenty of tape. Arm strength is pretty common knock for Tua. AB. Steven, I'm going to scream this now. Spurs suck. I love it.
Facts.
I love it. AB, AB, I love it, man. All right, let's see here. Hey, I'll tell you what. If you agree with AB that the Spurs suck, donate to the channel right now. Tell me how much you think the Spurs suck by donating to the channel. All right,
I'm surprised how many Dolphin fans are Spurs fans, man.
I know it's crazy, man. It's so crazy. It's insane. Greg Popovich lovers up here. Oh my God. All right, let's see here. 32 likes. Let's go. Let's keep them coming. 43 people watching. Estefan, are you on? Estefan, it looks like you're off mute, but I don't hear you.
I don't think even his name tag is on.
Estefan, you there?
Two Estefans.
Yeah, bro. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, ladies and gentlemen. We got Estefan. What's up?
Oh, not much, man.
What's going on, Estefan?
No, not much, man. I'm still kind of scarred. I don't know if I'm in or I'm out.
You're in.
Man, what's up, Steven? You gonna let me just talk, man?
Hey, man. The floor is yours, buddy. The floor is yours.
All I gotta say is if things work out for our team, talking about the Dolphins, as far as that Spurs thing, we don't respond to ants. We are elephants. We are lions. We ain't even the same level as you guys, man. We way higher. So, anyways, but the Dolphins, bro, I got to be honest, man. And this might not be, a lot of Dolphins might not like this, but I haven't been too happy with the drafts that we've had. As far as like the personnel, once they get on the field, the defensive side, it's translated. Yeah. Iggy's still a question mark, but the offensive side of the ball, man, we got to get that going. And I'll tell you, this is where I'm at. So if you look at the draft, the way it was going to go, the amount of players that there were available per position that were quality players, I just have an issue with the fact that we took a wide receiver in a loaded draft of wide receivers at that pick. I just gotta be honest, bro. I can't.
Let me ask you something, Estefan. If
Waddle
ends up scoring 10 plus touchdowns this year and 1,200 yards, are you still going to say that?
I hope he makes me forget about it. That's where I'm at.
See, I appreciate that.
I want a complete team, and I would have preferred Panay at that. I mean, the value that you got, he fell to you at that spot, and you cast on him. Waddle has to work out. Not only that, you gave up a draft pick to get Waddle. So I'm just saying, you move back up. You gave that draft pick up. You should have kept it. You move back up. You got to do. That's fine. If he's the equivalent of 2 players and he turns out to be an All Pro, I have no complaints. But right now, as it stands, we had Albert Wilson, we had Fuller, we had Preston. I mean, Gesicki. We had more wide receivers than you could shake a stick at.
What I said this morning is depth is everything.
It is. But have we found the depth at that left tackle spot? I believe not. Do we have a starter at left tackle? I believe not. So that's where I'm at, bro. It's the trenches. It's that side of the ball that we haven't figured out, that you keep passing up on. And just, I'm sorry, bro, but I'm just not a fan of Eichenberg right now as a starter to start the season. This is also not a hot take, bro. I am more comfortable.
We overpaid for him too.
Jesse Davis starting for at least the first few games, just until Eichenberg can get worked in at some point. That's just where I'm at. I hope Eichenberg. I hope that they don't give this kid the job. I hope he earns it. So that's where I'm at, bro. I'm not 100% happy with what we've done in the draft, man. When you see the players we could have taken, the way we could have navigated that board, I'll be honest, bro. I think we could have moved around better than what we did. I think there are other players that we could have chosen. So that's where I'm at, man. I am not 100% content. Again, the coaches have to get that personnel that they drafted to work out and make fans like me forget about that. But until then, the verdict's out, bro. They ain't getting the pass. You had all this draft capital. You got to make it work. You know what I mean? You had all this amount of resources in free agency, and you let everybody go. Not one guy stuck besides Agba. And who else do we have?
He's the one guy that I want re-signed.
Yeah,
He's the one guy that I feel like if the Dolphins re-sign him, I'll be like, all right, Dolphins are legit. Now, I think they took a good first step in Jerome Baker. I think they took a really good first step in keeping a player that was part of the organization that is a Dolphins-run player. But I want to see.
I love you, Steven. I love you, bro. I love you, man.
I know you do.
I don't agree with that at all.
I know, because a lot of people don't think that Baker was worth the contract. A lot of fans don't. No, I think he was. But I think more than anything, for the first time, a front office in the Miami Dolphins organization is spending money on a player that's already here. You tell me a time that we've done that. Don't worry, I'll wait. We've spent money on Brandon Marshall. We spent money on Carlos Dansby. We spent money on Mike Wallace. All those guys didn't play for the Dolphins. They were guys that came outside of the organization, and we spent the money here to bring them here.
Steven,
we finally spent money on a player that did something for us.
I respect that, but just because you spend money don't translate to results on the field. When Jerome Baker learns how to play the run better, then and he did better towards the end of the season. But look, bro, we got to get to a point where as Dolphin fans, we're not just happy with spurts and intermittent play where guys will play good one game and then you don't see them for 2 games and then no, we need consistency. That's what makes you a championship team, a championship contender, and that's Jerome Baker's problem. And you don't give somebody like that the priority in contracts and money when you got somebody like Xavier Howard that's still hanging in the balance, and that was the key to your success. That was what unlocked your defense this year. It wasn't Jerome Baker. There's plenty of players on this team that contributed, and I mean, he got better, but he still has his flaws, and he has to get better. In my opinion, it wasn't warranted. I'm sorry, bro. I love you, man, but I got to give you some pushback and just be honest, bro. That when you watch enough tape on him, that he's good. He's good as a blitzer, an off the ball blitzer, and as an interior linebacker, he's just not my favorite guy. He can
You have
get
to
better
scheme for
though.
him too, right?
There's possibility of him getting better, but for me, I'll be honest right now, man. On a 3rd and short, I'm not putting Jerome Baker in, bro. That's just me. As if I'm a coach, on 3rd and short, Jerome Baker ain't in the game, bro. And I don't know, bro. I mean, like that's just me. I mean, what? That's just me, man. If I'm coaching this team on 3rd and short, that's not the guy, man. Right now, it's not. Until he proves otherwise, he's just not that dude.
I don't always agree with AB, but bro, I'm 100% agreeing with you. If Flores didn't believe in him, he would not have gotten the green light to sign him. There's nothing more that needs to be said than that. Flo does not make the decision on who stays or who goes. But I promise you, he is put into that process of, do you like him? Is it worth signing him? Do you want him in this locker room? Greer takes a lot. Like Flo has more sway than most head coaches in the NFL. And Greer and Flo work together. They work together. And for me, I think that they've made the right move so far. Have they missed on a couple of things? Yes, but all front offices have, guys. All of them. You're going to hit on some. You're going to miss on some. And the book is still out on Greer and Flo. And the book is still out on the last 2 draft classes. We're going to see what they're going to do. And also this draft class. I personally think the Dolphins got 4 starters in the first 2 rounds. Liam Eschenberg is a starter. Javon Holland, starter. Right? Jalen Phillips, starter. And then the next thing is what's his face? Is Waddle. Waddle's a starter. That's 4
slot,
starters in 4 picks. Most teams get 2 starters, maybe if they're lucky. We got 4 in our first 4 picks. I think he's doing things the right way. That's just my opinion.
Well, I'll say this. Potentially, we could have 4 starters. Potentially. These guys are rookies. They ain't done that yet. That's where I'm at, man. You know, if Jalen Phillips has, I don't know, a learning curve, I don't think he should. I think the guy that's the biggest question mark in my mind is Eichenberg. That's it. The other guys, I believe they should be plug-and-play players, but they all look, man. This is the thing. You don't give nothing to these rookies. They got to go earn it.
Hey, Ali, get on here, boy. Ali, I'm putting the link in the chat. Ali Dolphin, you need to get up here.
I mean,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was just saying that Eichenberg, I think he's going to be the safest pick out of this draft. Or what I mean is because he's so fundamentally and technically sound that I think he's going to be the one who's going to have the easiest time transitioning from college into the NFL. And he comes from a school that produces quality offensive linemen. Zach Berg from the Cowboys. You had Taylor Lewan from the Tennessee Titans. I think Quentin Nelson was also from Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Yeah. So, you know, and this is a school that produces quality offensive linemen. This guy has the highest floor in the draft. You know, his technique alone is going to help him, you know, is going to help him be successful in the NFL. I mean, the highest floor means that this kid is gonna be, you know, the worst, an immediate day one contributor. He's gonna be a solid player. He's gonna do his job well. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's definitely not the most athletic. He's probably not the fastest guy or whatever. Doesn't have the quickest feet, but the guy's technique, his footwork is going to help him enough that it could put him in a position to succeed and allow him to do his job well and not give up any big plays. Just keep all he's got to do and is just keep to his pocket clean. and he's got enough in his repertoire to do that. So I think out of this whole draft pick, I think Eichenberg is going to be Tua's blindside protector. You know.
I just got to get some pushback though, because I mean, yes, we all know about his technique. A lot of us do. We're all fans, so we're all gonna have a lot of the same takes. But I just can't. I can't be a homer. I know he's a rookie, and I hope he works out. My only thing with Eichenberg is he's a rookie. He's got to prove it. Everything you said,
yeah,
I could agree with, but hypothetically, he hasn't proven anything yet.
You're right.
My only thing with Eichenberg is last year you didn't do enough to move up and get Tristan Wirfs. You should have been more aggressive. Look at the dude. He went on to go toe to toe with Khalil Mack on Monday Night Football and played in the Super Bowl, and they won the Super Bowl. You passed on Panay. So I'm just saying, this guy's got to work out, and he's a little, in my opinion, he's a little stiff. He needs to go do some yoga. That's all. Other than that, bro.
Yeah, right.
Hypothetically, everything that you say, I hope that it happens. But I gotta
Pete,
what's going on?
What's up, Pete?
What's up, man?
Pete, you don't want none of this, Pete.
Hey,
it's about to get real up in here.
I came up here for you.
I know you did. I know you did.
All right, Pete, the floor is yours, man. Go ahead and make us all upset.
How's it going, man? I'm trying to find something to make you guys upset about. What's going on?
Hey, man. Well, first of all, I love you, brother. I'm glad you're up here. I missed you the week and a half I was gone on vacation. I was like, I wonder how Pete's doing with TD and all those guys over there, if they were treating you right or whatever when I was away. But what I really want to know is first thing, let's talk. What are your thoughts of Xavier Howard?
Xavier Howard. I mean, my thoughts on Xavier Howard are just as clear. I think this team really needs Xavier Howard to try to get to the next level. I think it'll set us back drastically if we try to move on from him, whether that be trying to get draft picks or trying to trade. The only way I see this working out with a trade with Xavier Howard is for Deshaun Watson, in my honest opinion, a better quarterback to leverage the losing side of the defense. You know, we would have to, but I don't know, man. This Xavier Howard talk is getting a little out of hand. I do believe, you know, he earned more money by his play, but at the same time, he already signed a big contract. He was the highest paid corner at one point. The organization believed in him to be really good to pay him as a number one corner.
What would you do if you were the Dolphins right now? Would you pay him? Would you not pay him? Like, what would you do? Would you trade him?
That's a tough one, man. That is a tough one, but I lean more toward the players would want. So if the player knows he could get paid more elsewhere and I'm not looking to pay him that much, I'll let him walk, or I'll trade him. You know, you just gotta lean on what the player wants more.
And what does a player like X get on the market right now? What do you think is a realistic possibility that the Dolphins could get for X?
He's the best player on our team. Literally. So we should be able
There's no argument here. I agree.
That's not the question. The question is, what's the value?
But the thing is, when the player is disgruntled, they usually that alone, you know, when it's like that, they're mad, they don't want to be where they're at. Usually that hurts the trade, regardless. So I don't know if we'll get what we're asking for at this point for X, but you can't take away.
Well, my question, I guess,
I don't think he's disgruntled. I think he just wants the money. That's it. I don't think he's burned any bridges. My only thing is, when you are employed, and he's still employed through the Miami Dolphins, when you come out publicly and speak the way he did about the organization, because that's what he's doing. When you're saying it was a slap in the face and the mentioning of Byron Jones getting the big contract, all you're doing is you're talking about stuff that you talk about privately when you're sitting at a table with your employer. You don't spew that out publicly. So in my opinion, I think it's highly likely that he's done. They're going to make the trade, especially once you add all the off the field issues that he had with the assault and the drive-by of the agent. You mix out, they gave him so many chances. I believe that when somebody sticks their neck out for you like that, like the Dolphins did, I think it's time to move on when you have a guy that doesn't realize their place, and he needs to realize his place. You know what I mean? He could. I think they would have if he didn't go public the way he did. I don't think we're talking about trading him, but now that he
Well,
did,
let's get something straight, Estefan. He hasn't been in the public. He hasn't said. The only thing he's come close to saying is on the podcast with a couple of former NFL football players back in January, which TD played, which I thought was great, by the way. Right. So for me, that's the only time he's ever come out and remotely said, "Hey, I was kind of pissed off at Miami. I had to play. I had to show them what was going on, and that was it." If you look at that, he hasn't been in the public. And for me, this is what I'll say to the other thing that you're talking about, Esther. I'll also say that you're talking about a player that had never been formally charged with anything. He'd never and for me, I think that the we have already shown as an organization that if you are not doing things outside of the facility the way you're supposed to do it, that they'll let you go. They let that play out. They let it take its course, and nothing came of it.
right, and I agree with that. But and that was the one freebie he got. But the whole thing with the agents, the fact that he knew the people that did the drive-by is what they said. That's enough. That's where if
that was something that was already an issue, they would have gotten rid of him. They already would have gotten rid of him, and they damn sure never would have paid him last offseason. It wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, that's 100% because
I thought they paid him before.
The organization would have done something to try to get his information out and investigate it like that. Yep. They don't have to pay a player like that.
Look what happened in Houston.
And remember, fellas, that Xavier Howard he was okay with the trade back in October. It was reported. I don't remember who it was. I think it was the Miami Herald or something. Barry Jackson, but it was reported that Xavier Howard was open to a trade since October, and at that time he had like 4 interceptions at that time. So,
I don't believe the local
and
media
the Dolphins still stood by him. Dolphins obviously didn't want to get rid of him. So
I don't believe local media. I'll believe Reason or TD and their inside sources over what
that was what reported on Reason show. So.
Oh, that was okay. Well, then I believe it.
Yeah, there you go.
Just that quick.
Well, here's the thing. I think that, guys, one of the reasons I started this channel was because I think that, you look at somebody like Richmond Webb, right? I love Richmond. Richmond should be in the Hall of Fame, hands down.
He's such a nice guy.
He's the greatest guy in the world. The fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame is delusional to me. And you also look at, Estefan dropped off. You also look at somebody like Xavier Howard, who had double-digit interceptions for the first time in a long time. And so you look at that and you're like, if the local media were to just get behind them, they would have a shot at winning these awards. They would have a shot at getting in the Hall of Fame, a bigger shot. And so for me, that's part of the reason I started the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. It was also because people like, where's he at? I'm going to find it in the chat here. The Honorable Solo D, 20-0. We're going undefeated. No, I'd like to think we were, brother, but we're not. Solo thinks we're never going to lose a game ever. But that's one of the reasons I wanted to be realistic, but also support in a bigger way when the local media doesn't. And I think that that's something for me that is one of the reasons that I started this, is because I wanted to see, players, fans, former players get behind something and kind of put the local media to the fire that, hey, you guys don't start stepping up your game, YouTube's going to take over. And so, and I already think we are. So,
hey, Brendan and Tobin, I think they've been paying attention to Reason's show and other shows like it, like yours, like TD's. Even the Dolphins organization, the reps, they're actually watching this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually watching this stuff. So they're watching everything that we do, everything that we suggest, everything that we say. So
I know if you look at the Dolphins Twitter handle, they ask a question every day, like a fan question. And if you go back to a couple of weeks ago and you listen to my show and you listen to the Twitter question later on that morning, they're pretty similar. Similar. That's all I'm gonna say.
And
they're pretty similar.
And if you remember, Reason did that interview with Nick Hicks, to his trainer, and he showed up, and also, and then he had that he posted up that interview, which was, I think, was from K Flex, and he showed it before Reason did, and then Reason put it on his show about the Xavier Howard interview with Darius Butler and I think I don't remember the other player, and then a few days later it shows up on Brendan and Tobin. So yeah, definitely, these YouTube shows are catching a lot of attention. Even if you're if you have a small subscriber count or whatever, they're paying attention, man. They watch everything.
Hey, if you have not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're doing. You need to subscribe. I think before today started, we were 77 subscribers away from 7,000. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Sign up to become a member. We got exclusive content that is coming out with like the Freak Show. Are you guys excited for Dolfreaky's new show? It's going to be awesome.
There you go. Another YouTuber, dropping some gems from her, and hopefully everything works out and the Dolphins are going to be paying attention to her now.
Hey, look, dropping July 5th at 8 p.m. and the live digital countdown show at 7:15. It'll be myself, Jamie Bahamas, and Dolfreaky right here. So make sure you guys are signed up for that. All right, let's kind of quickly get back into the chat. Pete, man, so a lot of people have been saying that, we need to go out and upgrade the running back position. And I think the only reason that you haven't seen, a lot of moves in that department, somebody's going to get cut in training camp from somewhere. And so I don't know if you pay attention to other teams or not. And it doesn't necessarily have to even be the running back. But is there a player or two on somebody else's team that you could see getting cut that could be an asset to our team?
Well, when it comes to
don't say Tua.
Player getting cut on a running back, usually if it's a running back that used to have some name and they get cut, it's usually because they're probably injured and the younger guys are better. But if there's one running back that I would like to trade that, in my honest opinion, it wouldn't cost much to get, and I like from what I see, is actually two running backs. Actually one, because he's a backup, and that's Tony Pollard from the Cowboys. I really like Tony Pollard. I think we could probably get him right now in a trade, and they're happy with Zeke, and it wouldn't cost us much. He has the speed. He's like electric. He's really good. I like Tony Pollard, and it's sad that he's second string on the depth chart when he looks amazing.
Pollard from the Cowboys. All right, guys, go look him up. Do your research on that. I've been saying this for days. I think the reason that you haven't seen somebody in the center position or the running back or even linebacker position is because I think the Dolphins, just like every other team in the NFL, is waiting to see who gets cut come week 2 or week 3 of preseason. And I don't think that a player cut this year has – in the past, you have 4 weeks, right? And you always had to chop down every week. So you were able to see things. And I think it was a lot harder for a player to get through the crack. I think it's going to be a lot easier for players to slip through the cracks in this 3 preseason game set because they have to do bigger cuts. And so they're going to you're kind of forced to get rid of players that, man, if I could just see another week of this kid, I think he'd be good. But I can't take the chance. I got to go with who's hot now. And so I think there's going to be a couple of players that make a big difference on this squad this year that are not on this roster at the moment. And I think I think we need to – I'm going to be looking at all the preseason games this year more than I ever have before because 3 preseason games, it's going to work like this, right? Preseason game number 1, starters are going to play the first Maybe I would see the first quarter. Preseason game number 2, they're going to play the first half, going into the third, and preseason game number 3, they're not going to play at all.
I could see it like that too.
So that means you're only going to see the starters for 3 to 4 quarters, and you're going to see the depth that we have behind them. I think that at the end of the day, there is nothing like I think the preseason is so important this year, more than it ever has been in the past, because we didn't have one last year. We didn't have a training camp last year, and that's a big deal. I think people are like for example, the story that players are hurting to grasp the playbook, right? Like they're not grasping the playbook right away. Guys, it is June 29th. It is a brand new playbook. There are going to be players that just don't learn as quickly as others. But you put them into training camp, you start letting them execute on a day in, day out basis, they're going to learn the playbook. They're professionals. I do not think it's that big a deal at the moment that some players are struggling to know it.
Well, it's not a big deal as of right now that they're struggling to learn it. It's something new. Things are usually hard to learn and grasp very instantly, but it's around the preseason time where it'll be a problem if they don't know it. Training camp is going to be there to get them solidified in that playbook, and they have to know every little step by training camp. These guys have like 3 more weeks to have it down packed. Flores in the team, he doesn't like those false starts. He doesn't like penalties. So if it starts hurting us, these players, they could be as good as they want. If they're hurting us with penalties, Flores has no shy in his game on putting you on the bench.
That's one of his best. That's one of his best traits, I think, is cleaning up the penalties and playing with discipline. Yeah, but the thing is with the playbook, there's a lot of there's been a lot of complaints with the playbook. It's a little bit too complicated. It's very complex, and the terminologies for a lot of the plays are pretty long. So guys like Tua and Waddle have had a really great job. Have done a really great job of grasping the playbook, and it's not surprising because this playbook is a lot like the one that they were playing with at Alabama. Like the concepts that they had at Alabama were similar to the ones that they have in this current playbook. It's just that the terminology's changed, right? So, and you've seen players struggle, learning the playbook, especially, the prime example is Devontae Parker, right? You've seen him, not only is he struggling to catch passes on all that, he's struggling to know which routes to run, where to be on the, when he needs to, he's struggling when he needs to break out of his routes, because Tua is a rhythmic quarterback, right? And Tua is a guy that needs receivers who knows how to run the routes very adequately, know which route to run at a certain play, and when to break out of their route. So once they're about to break out of that route, that ball is out, and Tua could hit that receiver in stride once he breaks out of his route. So you've had times that Devontae Parker is struggling with route concepts. He's struggling to memorize the plays and such like that. And the reason I've covered this in the show, and you see kind of like Tua pulling him to the side and like having like little 2-minute chats, telling him, what route he needs to run a certain play, where he needs to be, when he needs to break out of his route, when Tua expects him to break out of, at a certain time where Tua needs him to break, like, hey, Devontae, I need you to run this route this way, and I need you to break out of this route at this time. So once let's say you do a little, let's say a little dig route, right? You run that dig route, and once you start to turn, sorry, not the dig route, a curl route. So once you start to make that sharp turn, expect that ball to be out right away. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good sign. It's a good sign to see that your quarterback, who that he said to the media that he didn't get a full grasp of the playbook last year, to now have mastering over the playbook. And the 2 offensive coordinators, George Godsey and Eric Stuttsville have been quizzing Tua each week, right?
They've been saying that he's been passing with flying colors
and passing them with flying colors. So it's a good thing that your quarterback has a good grasp of the playbook,
according to Reason. Anyway, that's what I heard from
but
Reason.
it's not a good but that's not a good thing when the rest of the players are struggling to learn the playbook. And that's a problem that we've had before with Chad O'Shea. What was his biggest problem? The playbook was
please don't get me started on Chad O'Shea.
So,
my thing about what you just said, Irvin, is number one, the Devontae Parker struggling on routes. Where did you hear that he's struggling on routes when we just went through minicamp? It's in shorts. So I find it hard to believe that he's struggling on routes. That's number one. And number two, I find it hard to believe that a wide receiver is complaining that the play call name is super long. If anything, that's a problem for Tua, because he's the quarterback that has to give this assignment and call out all the names of the play. So if the play is 9,
correct, the wide receiver's just looking for one word. That's all 9 times out of 10 he's looking for.
That's it. You just sit there and listen to what your assignment is. But if it's 9 words long, the only person I would believe that is really struggling at this is the quarterback. And the only person I would see that would complain about this would be the quarterback.
And they're saying he's not.
But Irvin is saying someone is, or am I listening wrong?
No, but the point is that it's a big problem when your quarterback understands the full playbook and the rest of the team hasn't even figured out a way to break it down. So, that's my struggle. And at this point, when we're only a month away from training camp, that's my concern. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got training camp.
I don't think it's that big of a deal, because if you look at where the Dolphins were last year with Chan Gailey and where the Dolphins are at this year with Stuttsville and Godsey, I think at the end of the day, as long as your quarterback is grasping it to Pete, I'm agreeing with Pete, people. Oh my God, it's a miracle. I'm just saying, if the quarterback gets it, it should be a hell of a lot easier for everyone else to, because 9 times out of 10 position players are just waiting to hear one word or a phrase or something that tells them, all right, do I have a hot route? Do I have a curl route? Am I going downfield? Whatever. Am I blocking? And oh, by the way, Pete Bones asked, were you defending Tua?
I know, right? No, but the thing is that you see guys like Devontae Parker, like you're 7, 8 years into your career, and you're having trouble understanding concepts of reading playbooks. I mean, come on, you should be able at this point know how to read properly an NFL playbook, and then Tua, who's a second-year player who hasn't even played his second year, is already mastering the playbook. I mean, but the thing is, yeah, I agree with you what you said, Steven. If Tua has a full grasp of the playbook and that he's mastered enough and the concepts and is able to remember the terminology, then I can rest my mind and say, hey, our quarterback knows that means that he can be able to break it down and make other players to understand by teaching them, the playbook.
And remember, Pete, Tua was on the offseason working out with a lot of these wide receivers at high school fields in Miami.
That's a good. I completely forgot about that.
What I'm saying, I'm still waiting to see where we got that Devontae Parker running bad routes and anybody could drop a pass.
Because here's the thing, dude. I think that people say stuff like that to create stories in the offseason, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, like there's a story that just literally I almost believed it, where Solomon Kinley showed up to camp and he was 500 pounds, this and that. And Irvin, I know you saw the tweet that I reposted because you retweeted it. Did you see the video of Solomon Kinley that I tweeted out?
I don't think so. I'll have to check.
You retweeted it on Twitter. This guy,
I got to check again.
He does not look nowhere near out of shape. He looks like a tank and nothing near. Maybe he's 300-400 pounds or whatever, but he's solid. He's not a fat monster like they're trying to call him. come on. This is like, sometimes you just got to listen to people, and I understand it. Sometimes maybe some people are being funny, but it's not funny if you're just out blatantly just lying on players like that. Like that, I kind of
Yeah,
almost
but
believe.
his biggest problem was that he needed to shed weight so that he can move, so he can add some lateral quickness to his game. You know what I'm saying? Because when he came in last year, he was weighing I think it was like at 347 pounds. You know, that's kind of big for a guard. So if he could have trimmed somewhere into like maybe 330 pounds or maybe
Right.
325,
That's not what I'm
he
saying.
could have some of that lateral quickness. So
People are just saying things on YouTube that, and you have a fan base that will believe it, and there's no credibility to it with videos.
well,
So if you're
guys
saying
like EM have been talking
someone
about
like
it.
Solomon Kinley is showing up to camp overweight, weighing around 500 pounds, at least show somebody the proof.
I tell people when you listen to my show in the mornings, I try to bring on somebody every day that has a little bit more knowledge than I do or understand things a little bit better than me. All I want to do is pass the news along, and I want to get people's hot takes. When you listen to somebody like Reason or TD, in my opinion, have a better understanding. They might have their own viewpoints, but they have a better understanding of football and the process of how it works from a standpoint of executing the position or the play or the route that needs to be run better than I do, right? And the other thing I'll also say too is those guys, they have inside guys. I don't have inside guys yet. So when I hear something coming from them, there is no, I go back to the local media. Local media is driven by sales. They are driven by, I need to be able to make X dollar amount in order to keep my job. When it comes to guys like TD or Doug or somebody like that, they don't have, there's no political affiliation for them to be able to do the right thing or not the right thing. They're just there giving you their take and what they've heard. So I would believe it from those guys first before I ever would believe it from the local fan club that or the local reporters. That's what I think.
I, it's not dissing Reason or TD or anybody though, but I honestly would believe someone that goes to and watches them and reports on the players that are there than a YouTube creator content, whether they got sources and they're hearing this and hearing that. I would prefer someone that actually inside. They're there on the field with guys and they're looking.
You mean people? What do you mean, like player breakdown?
He's saying somebody like that's at training camp every day.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know if you guys remember Greg Likings for the Miami Dolphins.
I do. Greg was great. I like Greg a lot.
Greg was great. I love Greg. Why was Greg so great? Because he always gave you felt he always gave you his honesty. He was dead wrong a lot on Tannehill. Remember, that guy didn't like Tannehill. But
he was dead wrong about him.
but look, he was always giving you his straight up thoughts. He was there. He was seeing it, and people didn't like him because he was honest about it. And I understand the fact that they want positivity every single day. They want to hear that we're gonna go 20-0 and we're Super Bowl champions. But at some point, you got to wake up and realize other teams around the NFL have really good players as well. And when you start looking at other rosters and you start seeing it and comparing it to your favorite team, that's when there's concerns. And that's when you start questioning stuff.
AB. So Omar, Armando, and Barry Jackson and all those guys, I don't have beef with a lot of them. I don't. But here's a reality. They're just like Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless or Colin Cowherd. They're paid to be controversial. They're paid to get clicks. I want clicks. Don't get me wrong. I want more people than 43 people watching right now. I want more than 42 likes. I want more than one $10 donation that's been done today. But at the end of the day, what I'm doing because this is what I want to do. And nobody's going, like, I am me. I am my own boss. There's nobody directing me saying, Steven, you needed to do this. Steven, you need to do that. If Barry Jackson or Omar or somebody's not getting the clicks that the Miami Herald or somebody is saying they're not getting, they're not doing what their job is. So I think sometimes things are written in a bigger deal to create a bigger scene than really is, so that people read it. People like us, people like you all. And that's fine. That's part of the sports entertainment world, right? But I think that at the end of the day, when you're looking at it, I think that I'm not saying I don't know who the source's reason says he has, or TD or Doug or anybody, right? And everybody's like, Reason and TD work for clicks. They do, but what I'm saying is there's nobody telling them they're not going to get fired tomorrow unless they want to quit. Omar could get fired tomorrow, and then Omar would have to start from scratch all over again, or go to somebody else who's going to pay his paycheck. And so that's kind of where I'm going with this, right? Like, I feel like this is the world that we live in, but I feel like there's a political agenda when it comes to papers, or people, like the radio stations or something like that. Right now, with Miami sports music, there's no political agenda. I just want people to enjoy and having fun and give their take. And I would say that when you listen to TD's going to give him he's going to give his hot take. Reason's going to give his hot take. Doug's going to give his hot take. But there's nobody that's going to tell them, hey, if you say something totally different, then you're done. They're their own boss. They can say whatever the hell they want. They can do whatever the hell they want. And to me, that's everything. It's freedom. It's freedom. And that's half the battle. So I don't know how you feel about that, Pete.
I mean, yeah, everybody got their own way. Everybody got their own way of making it and giving us out their news. But you're absolutely right. TD and Reason, they're self-made, and these other guys, they get paid by the owner, so they gotta. I just don't. When it comes to Omar, Armando Jackson, Safid, all of them, I like them. Cameron, I like them. But there's some of them, they say things where towards leaning towards, helping out a player, which I don't mind if they're trying to help out our player. That's what, I call the logo defenders. I call those guys logo defenders. I love them because that's what they're there. That's what fans are here for. It to be a logo defender, fighting for every player on our roster, not letting nobody try them. I used to be there, but after being wrong so much, you just realize and wake up on the dark side, and you become the black sheep of the community. But other than that, I like all of them. I like all of them. Believe it or not, I like them all.
Irving, what do you think?
What was that? Because I kind of like
you went away for a second. Well, I mean, look, the gist of the conversation is that people like, YouTubers and what their incentive. Well, all right, I'll have you try to get back on. You cut out there for a second.
So say it
back,
again,
huh?
Say it where you were saying again.
I mean, basically, what I'm trying is Dudley Do Wrong, TD Fins Talk, Reason, K Flexin, all these guys. At the end of the day, they have their, they're there doing it for the passion, and I think that guys like Omar Kelly, and Barry Jackson, and a lot of these other guys. Don't get me wrong, I think they love what they do, but they are also providing for their families as well. I want to do this to be able to provide for my family, but I'm not anywhere near close to that yet. I don't make all the money that comes from this. I'm putting back into the podcast network. So for me, this is about building a brand, right? Yep. And so when I look at that, I don't think that Omar has to worry about that. But if Omar gets fired because he's not getting enough clicks, guess what Omar's incentivized to do? Create stories. We're not.
And you could put anybody in Omar's situation, and once you go to camp, you got to write based off what you see. And if you see something that you don't like, you're going to write it. People are not going to like it. They're going to think you're clickbaiting. But you saw what you saw at practice, and you wrote about it, and people think you're clickbaiting. That's what I honestly think happens. People do not like the negative. They just want to hear all good. and that's how the media used to be, and that's why I didn't like it. I remember reading on Miami Herald on the newspaper in high school, reading, and all you read nothing but good, nothing but good, nothing but good. Next thing you know, Sunday comes around, we're getting blown out. So it was.
And let me just answer something real quick. So you, by the way, you've been in the chat room before. I'm glad you're here. But you think his quote is, you think all TD's new channels with all those teams is the passion? Come on, man. Check it out. I'm doing this because I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I want to do this for a living. I want to be able to wake up every morning with you guys and talk about what I love to talk about on a day in, day out basis. And I'm willing to put in the work, and I'm willing to put in the time. I'm willing to make these graphics, and I'm willing to talk to you. TD does the same damn thing. Now, TD also sees a business opportunity, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's capitalism, right? That's a business opportunity. But when we're talking about the Dolphins, which is what we're talking about right now, Doug, TD, Reason, love them, hate them, started out doing it because they love the Dolphins, because they love the passion, including me. So I'm telling you right now, like, I'm not mad at TD for doing what he's doing. I'm applauding it. I think that there should be, I think if you love to do with if you love to do something and you can make a business at it, by all means, go at it. I don't think because he's got 30 other channels of 30 NFL teams that he's trying to sway away from what got him there in the first place. I think he sees a business opportunity and says, hey, man, if I can do this with the Dolphins, I can do this with all 30 other teams because nobody else is making a market in those teams. And TD's the first person to say people that are in other teams that are established, that he has relationships with, he isn't touching those markets yet. Mike says TD is strictly for the money. Bro, I want to make a living from this. All of us do. But I mean, I have a real job on the side. So I don't know what else to like. I can say at the end of the day that passion is the reason, and it is. But I can also say just for anything. So if a writer writes a book, he's not doing it because of the passion. You have to be passionate about writing a book. You have to be passionate about being a doctor. There are plenty of people that have quit being a doctor because they hate it and going to do something else.
Oh, yeah. Doug, man, I respect everything that TD does, man. He's a hardworking guy. He has a tremendous work ethic. You know, I like what he represents as a family man. Yeah, will he occasionally get away with a misleading headline or exaggerate some of the headlines? Sure. But that's the business. Sometimes that's business. Hey, if he knows if he goes out with a headline that's going to exaggerate a little bit, what's the goal of that headline, right? Is to catch your attention, to get that click.
Yeah.
So
I realized that early.
And
every time.
Yeah, right.
What happened now? And it's like, you got to tune in. That's smart of him. It's business.
Yeah, of course, exactly. That's how he does it. So I'm not gonna knock TD for doing something that he loves and using a certain tactic that's gonna get him clicks and more attention and more subscribers. And you know, and I don't knock on him on that. That's I mean, you know how many people do that? I mean, if you're gonna accuse him of that, you know, you might as well, you know, everyone else is guilty, you know. You have a lot of YouTubers
for
that
anything,
do that, so.
No matter what it is, whether it's
anything,
YouTube
right?
or not.
Yeah, and I admire, you know, TD and Reason and Dudley Durong and Larry. They all have their different, you know, ways of
styles,
presenting their different styles. The way, you know, different ways of presenting the material or whatever the case may be. But they're all good. They all break down the you know, the breaking news of the day, whatever's going on with this team. They break it down well. They give you context. You know, they just might present it to you in a different way, but at the end of the day, they give you good material when they don't have to. You know what I'm saying? They take time out of their busy schedule to give you nonstop Dolphins content. You know,
exactly. And
right.
And let me tell you, TD's been doing it for 3 years. TD had to build up to do that. Dudley's been doing it for 3 years.
Right.
He had to build up. Reason's been doing it for 2 to 3 years. I have literally done this. You want to know what the biggest difference between all those guys and me? I had and I'm just being honest. I'm calling a spade a spade. I got lucky because I'm with Solo. So I had 7,000 people or almost 7,000 people already here. Now it's up to me to be able to grow that. But all those guys I just named started with 1 subscriber. 1.
Right.
You glitch.
Bro, there's something to say to that. There's something to say to that, which is why I have K Flexing on the squad, which is why I have TD on the squad, which is why I have Doug on the squad. I'd love to have Reason too, but Reason does his own thing, and he's affiliated with a few other people, so I don't ever want to step on anybody else's toes. But at the end of the day, I want Miami sports music to be a place where people like Pete and AB and Estefan and you, people who have totally different opinions, can come up here and talk shit to each other and be like, you know what? I love you guys. You guys are great, but I totally disagree with what you're saying, and here's a platform to do it.
Oh,
Right.
man,
And
I love Larry so much, man. That right there is, like, to me, the best Dolphins channel, because that's exactly what
Uncle Larry.
he even came out and says, you know, I was bored. This is Larry's words. He was bored. He wanted to create a platform for us guys that are in the chat room chatting that would like to participate and give our opinions. And he made it, man, just like Larry. He started off with 0. How many is Larry at? Almost 2,000 now. So I want to give a big
That's
shout out
crazy,
to
bro.
Larry. I love that guy.
For sure, bro.
All right,
I
guys,
love-
look, I have a
man,
meeting
definitely.
that I'm totally late for, and I need to get on it. That I've been sitting here trying to defend all these YouTubers to everybody.
No, they're all good, man. Everybody has their preferences. All of those guys, you know, and I hope they continue. And I'm glad to see these guys growing. But we got to give another shout out to DDW, because he's the only one getting current players on his platform. So shout out to DDW.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, definitely.
Guy has gotten.
Hey, and shout out to Pete for giving me material to work with too, man. Because I got to counter his takes, you know.
Yeah, and yeah. So, all right, guys, look, I love you guys. Be good. Donate to the channel. The channel helps us grow. There's a lot of things I want to do, and I can't do it without your help. And part of that is donations. Part of that is likes. Part of that is sharing when we're on. So I need you guys. I need JD. I need Dolphin.
But let them know.
Everybody.
You gotta this is how you gotta tell them. If you hit that like button, Tua will have an MVP season. Watch that like button go up. Let them know. If you hit that like button, that MVP season is coming this season.
Tell them again, Pete. Tell them.
Hit it like you love Tua.
Hit it like you love Tua. Hit it like love Tua.
Hit it like Tua's gonna hit Waddle on a 50-yard post route all the way to the house, baby. Let's go. Let's get it. Hit that like button, baby.
Guys, I appreciate you coming on. I had a really, really good time. And I will be on tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll have Jason Sarney on in the morning from finsmaniacs.com. Stupid excited about that. And then obviously Thursday I'm going to have DolFreaky on as my co-host, and that'll be fun. And then Friday is Spread Kindness Friday. So guys, hit the like button, share, donate to the channel. You can donate through PayPal and Cash App while we're not live. Do that. It's in the description. It has all the links to it. Every donation you guys make this week, 50% of it is going towards the Surfside building collapse, displaced families from them. So please, donate. Please hit that like button and share everything. Pete, I love you, brother. Irving, I love you, brother. Be good and be great.
Peace out, guys.
For sure.
Catch you next time. Catch you next morning, Steve.
Thanks for having me on your show, Steve.
Fins up, guys. Be good. Yep.
Like and subscribe, baby.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, man.